I just wanted to show a close-up of her so you could see what she looks like. Her eyes. She has a very soft yarn, the Pipsqueak yarn. The hat is 100% cotton. I love this cotton yarn. I found that worked best for the hats because they weren't too heavy. You can tie her hands together in prayer. And for this bear I used both the J hook and the F crochet hook. Her arms move up and down and the ribbons are removable, so the hat will come off as well. This is what she looks like from behind. I know that some people have trouble with the Pipsqueak yarn because it's harder to work with this style of yarn, even though I love the way it turned out for this bear. So I'm just going to show, if you use a different yarn, it's the exact same pattern. The only difference is I used only my F or 4mm crochet hook, but this followed the same pattern, and this is what the bear looks like. It's actually smaller, so compared to the other bear, it's a little bit smaller. And then if you use an even different yarn, like I used Effervesce yarn for this cute little bear, it's about, the ear comes up to about the bottom of the snout on the Pipsqueak yarn, because I used a smaller crochet hook. So this one also was an F crochet hook. And if you're going to use Effervesce for the main bear, I used a red heart yarn for the hat, which is a little bit heavier. So just be careful with that. He's still able to sit up, but sometimes he'll tip over. So I would recommend I love this cotton, 100% cotton yarn for the hat, because these bears don't have any problem holding the hat up. For this bear, I used Big Twist value yarn. The color that I used is cream color. And here's more information on this yarn. This was some of my leftover yarn, and I was still able to make this adorable bear with that yarn. And then I used Effervesce for the snout and the paws. For the bear that I used Effervesce yarn, for his red heart hat, it was the same pattern, and then I just placed pom-poms around the edge of the hat. And then each of the hats are tied to the ear with a ribbon, so they're removable. For this crochet project, you're going to need your J or 6mm crochet hook. You're also going to need your F or 4mm crochet hook and a tapestry needle, as well as a pair of scissors. This part is optional, but I'm putting a lavender scented little bag inside of my bear, and this bag comes in a 12-pack. It's a little satin bag that I'm going to put some of the lavender fresh scent into. Using the lavender scented pouch inside of your bear is optional. Just be aware that if you use this brand, it's a very fine brand, so there's little small pieces and some of the dust will go through, but the larger pieces will stay inside the pouch, but the smaller dust particles will still get through. This is what it looks like. So the larger pieces will stay in the bag, but there's fine particles that may go through the bag. Again, this is an optional thing that if you wanted to do that for your bear. Another thing you can do is just take, after you've shaken your pouch, and you can see there's a little bit that goes into the center of the fabric as well. So you have a little bit of the residual. Just take and fold it into a pillow case, a little bit of leftover pillowcase or fabric, and then just fold it down and then just tie it in place with your yarn. Or you can sew it closed with your sewing machine, or however else you want to secure it. But for mine, I'm just going to tie some string around it to secure it within the fabric. That way you still have a little bit of the lavender scent that will come through, and you won't have a paper feel. It will still be soft. And just be aware of the warning with the packets. Not for consumption, keep out of reach of children, avoid contact of package and contents with furniture, fabric, specialty carpets, finished surface, plastic, or acrylics, and painted items. It can cause damage and discoloration. I'm also using these floral 9-piece embellishment by Recollections. The yarn I'm using is Bernat Pipsqueak. Here's some more information about this yarn. The color I'm using is Whitey White. I'm using Effervesce white yarn, a black yarn for the nose, and a blue yarn for the eyes. Go ahead and take your Pipsqueak yarn, and the first thing we're going to do is just fold the yarn over on itself to form a loop. Take your crochet hook, go right through the loop, hold the base of the loop with your middle finger and your thumb, and just yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through the loop for a slip knot. And then just pull on the loose yarn end and cinch the yarn around your loop, your crochet hook, and then you finished your slip knot. Now we're going to make a chain. You're going to take your crochet hook, yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through the loop for one chain. Make sure that your loop around your crochet hook isn't too tight. 2 chains. 3, 4, 5, and keep going until you have a chain of 20. Now we're going to move up to the next row. So you're going to hold that last stitch that you made with your thumb and your middle finger, and then you're going to yarn over, turn the hook upside down and make 1 chain. And then you're going to take your crochet hook and go into the second chain from the hook. So the stitch that you're holding with your thumb and middle finger would be your second chain from the hook. Go right through that stitch, bring up a loop. You have 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, go through both loops for a single crochet. And then you're going to make 1 single crochet in every stitch across, and you should have a total of 20 stitches when you're done. Now, this is what my work looks like, and I just finished my last stitch. Now I'm going to chain 1, turn my work, and you're going to go into the next stitch over. So here you can see this stitch right here is right below your chain 1. You're not going to go into that spot, you're going to go into the next stitch over. So this first chain 1 counts as your first stitch for the 3rd row. Go into the next stitch over, bring up a loop, and then you have your second single crochet, next stitch over, 3rd single crochet, and you're going to make 1 single crochet in every stitch back across for the next row. This is how my work looks so far, and I just finished 20 stitches. So for this type of yarn, I would recommend counting your stitches. That way you can make sure that you're getting about 20 stitches each row. That way your sides will stay straight. So then you're just going to keep repeating. Chain 1, turn your work. That first chain 1 counts as your first stitch. Go into the next stitch over for your second stitch. So that's your second single crochet. Just going to come in a little bit closer so you can watch You're basically, you know that the stitch is right next to it, so you go into that next stitch with your crochet hook for the third single crochet. And then you just keep making one single crochet into every stitch across, and you should have 20 stitches when you're done. So that was my fourth. You need to make 14 rows of one single crochet in every stitch, and each row should have 20 stitches in every row. That way the side is straight on both sides. And you're going to need 4 of these made the exact same way. When you're finished, you just take your yarn, just yarn over, and then go through the loop to finish off, and bring enough yarn through to bury into your work. And you need 4 of these. Now we're going to make the snout, and you're going to take your effervesce or white, whatever yarn you're using for your snout, and we're going to start with a magic circle. Just take your yarn, drape it across your 4 fingers, use your thumb to stabilize, then wrap the yarn around your 2 middle fingers, and then hold it in place with your pinky and your thumb. And then take your F crochet hook or 4mm crochet hook, go under those 2 loops around the middle fingers, bring up a loop, then yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through the loop for a slip knot. Then you're going to make 6 single crochet into the magic circle. Two, three, and my last one, I have 6 single crochet into the magic circle. Take your 4-finger and thumb, hold the base of the 6 single crochet. You have 2 loops on the opposite side, pull on one. If it doesn't close, let go and pull on the other loop, but this one's closing the magic circle. Just gently close it as much as you can, not too tight. You can always close it more later. Then take your loose yarn end and pull on that. Then you're going to turn your work, and then we're going to work into that first stitch with your crochet hook. So take your crochet hook, go into that first stitch, make sure you grab both loops of the first stitch. You're going to make 2 single crochet into every stitch around until you have a total of 12, and then come back. So 2 single crochet in every stitch around for a total of 12 stitches. So now I have a total of 12 stitches around my magic circle. You can close the center of your magic circle if you want now. Just turn your work over and just pull on that loose yarn end on the back. Then you're going to take a yarn marker, and I'm just using one of my loose scraps of yarn. We're going to continue our increase rounds. So for my next increase round, you're going to make 1 single crochet into the first stitch, and then 2 single crochet into the second stitch. And then you're going to repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. I'm going to show you one more because I've had some beginners have trouble with this. For some reason they just put 1 single crochet into the rest of the stitches. But you're going to make 1 single crochet into the first stitch, and then 2 single crochet into the second stitch. And you're just going to repeat that all the way around. 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, all the way around, back to the yarn marker, and then come back. You should have 18 stitches all the way around. Now you're going to take and move your yarn marker up for our next increase round. For this increase round, you're going to make 1 single crochet into the first stitch, 1 single crochet into the second stitch, and then 2 single crochet into the third stitch. You're going to repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. So I'm going to repeat just one more with you. 1 single crochet into the first stitch, 1 single crochet into the second stitch, and 2 single crochet into the third stitch. And repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. So you should have 24 stitches for that round. Go ahead and move your yarn marker up for the next increase round. And for this increase round, you're going to make 1 single crochet into 3 stitches. So 1 single crochet into the next 3 stitches, and then 2 single crochet into the 4th stitch. And repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. So 1 single crochet into 3 stitches and 2 single crochet into the 4th stitch. So for that round you should have 30 stitches completed. Now we're not going to be doing any increase rounds. So you're going to take your yarn marker and move it up. And this time you're only going to make 1 single crochet in every stitch around. So 1 single crochet in every stitch around. That means when you get back to the yarn marker, you should have only 30 stitches. And you're going to make 1 single crochet in every stitch for 3 rounds. That means when you reach the yarn marker, you're just going to keep going until you've completed 3 rounds of 1 single crochet in every stitch. So you can see how I have 3 rounds of 1 single crochet in every stitch. Then I'm going to go ahead and take and move my yarn marker up for another increase round. For this increase round, you're going to make 1 single crochet into 4 stitches. And then 2 single crochet into the 5th stitch. Then go ahead, repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. 1 single crochet into 4 stitches and then 2 single crochet into the 5th stitch. So I just finished that last increase round, and I have a total of 36 stitches for that round, and this is what my work looks like so far. Now we're done, we're finished with the snout. So you're going to take your crochet hook, we're going to make a slip stitch into the next stitch over. So go into the next stitch over, yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and bring the yarn through both loops on the hook. Then we're going to finish off, just yarn over and bring the yarn through the loop, bring enough yarn to sew the snout onto the bear. Now I'm going to show you how to make the nose. For the nose, you're going to take your black yarn and you're going to fold it over on itself to form a loop. Take your F or 4mm crochet hook, hold the base of the loop with your middle finger and your thumb, and then just yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and bring the yarn through the loop for your slip knot. Then just cinch the loop around your crochet hook, and you're going to make a chain of 3. 1, 2, 3. Now for the next row, you're going to hold that last stitch with your middle finger and thumb. Go ahead and chain 1, and then work into the second chain from the hook, which is the stitch that you're holding. So go into the second chain from the hook, bring up a loop, make a single crochet, make a single crochet into the next stitch over, And then in the last stitch, you're going to make 3 single crochet into that last stitch. So 3 single crochet into the last stitch. There's 1. You can see how I'm turning my work because I'm going to work on the opposite side. 2, 3. Now I have turned my work so that the opposite side is facing me and facing up. And you're going to go into the next stitch over, go behind your loose yarn end, bring up a loop, and make a single crochet. And then you're going to make 3 single crochet into the opposite end. So in the next stitch, you're going to work behind your loose yarn end, bring up a loop, make a single crochet. So that's 1, 2, 3. Then you can go ahead and cut your loose yarn end. Now you're going to need a yarn marker. Go ahead and place your yarn marker right where you left off. Now you're just going to make 1 single crochet in every stitch around. So go ahead and make 1 single crochet in every stitch around back to the yarn marker, and then come back. So I just finished 9 stitches around, and I'm back to the yarn marker, and I'm just going to keep on working in rounds. I'm going to make 1 more round of just 1 single crochet in every stitch around. So 1 more round of 1 single crochet in every stitch around. Then, when you've reached the yarn marker again, this is how your work should be looking. Go ahead and remove the yarn marker. You're going to make a slip stitch into the next stitch over. So go into the next stitch over, yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and bring the yarn through both loops on the hook. Go ahead and finish off, just yarn over and pull enough yarn through to sew the nose onto the snout. For the nose, I'd like to take a little bit of the black yarn and then just use the black yarn as stuffing for the nose. That way, through the front of the nose, there's a little bit of a hole in the front. No one will be able to tell because of the black yarn that's in there. And now the nose is ready to be sewn onto the snout. Now you want to center the nose onto your snout. And I have my magic circle, the center of my magic circle on the snout is right there. So just above that, I placed my nose and centered it. Then you just take your tapestry needle and sew the nose in place. So you just go in and out and sew along the base of the nose all the way around until it's sewn in place. Then after you've sewn the nose in place on the snout, take your tapestry needle, come up from the inside of the snout, make sure that you're centered along the nose, the bottom of the nose, then come out. Of course, you would tie a knot if you need to on the inside. I'm just using the same yarn that I used to sew this nose in place. Then you're going to go straight down, and I'm going down about 2 rows. Then I'm going to come up to make the left side of the smile. On camera, it looks like I'm coming up on the right. And then I'm going to come back down to make the side of the smile. And then you're going to make the equal other side of the smile the exact same way. Make sure that they line up and are symmetrical. Then you can tie a knot on the inside. Now the snout is ready to be sewn onto the face, so you just take a little bit of pillow stuffing or craft stuffing, put it into the snout, and then you're going to need one of your rectangular pieces for the face. We're going to make the face, and you're just going to center the snout and then sew it in place. Then I placed my snout about one row up, leaving just a little bit along the bottom, and then I have the equal distance on both sides, and then you just sew it all around the base of the snout and sew it in place with your tapestry needle. After you get your snout sewn on, then you can set it aside. I'm going to show you how to make the eyes. Now I'm going to show you how to make the eye. First, you're going to take your black yarn, you're going to fold it over on itself to form a loop, then take your F or 4mm crochet hook, go right through the loop, hold the base of the loop with your middle finger and thumb, just yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through the loop for your slip knot. Then you're going to make a chain of 6. 1, 2, 'So I have a chain of 6. Now you're going to go into the second chain from the hook, make a single crochet, so that's 1 single crochet, next stitch over, 1 single crochet for 2, next stitch over, 1 single crochet for 3, next stitch over, 1 single crochet for 4, and then your 5th and last single crochet. Now you're going to turn your work. You're going to go into the next stitch over. So take your crochet hook, go into the next stitch over, bring up a loop for 1 single crochet, go into the next stitch over for 2 single crochet, next stitch over for 3 single crochet, and then your last and 4th stitch for your 4th single crochet. Then you're going to turn your work. You're going to go into the next stitch over to make your first single crochet, go into the next stitch over for your second, and the last and 3rd single crochet. Then we're going to turn our work, go into the next stitch over for 1 single crochet, and then the last stitch for our second single crochet. You can see how it's forming a triangle. Now you're going to turn your work, and you're going to slip stitch into the next stitch over. So go into that next stitch over, yarn over, and pull the yarn through both loops on the hook for a slip stitch. Then go ahead and finish off. Just yarn over and pull enough yarn through to sew the black portion of the eye onto the face. Now you have the top portion where we just finished off. Go ahead and turn your work so that your loose yarn end at the bottom of the triangle is on the right side. Then you're going to take your crochet hook, go right into that last stitch on the far right. Join whatever color you want to make for the eyes for your bear. Mine's going to be a blue. Just hook and bring the yarn through, and then tie a knot. Now you're going to carry your loose yarn ends so we can bury them as we work, but take your crochet hook, go into the next stitch over, go behind both loose yarn ends, bring up a loop for 1 single crochet, next stitch over behind your loose yarn ends for 2 single crochet, next stitch over behind the loose yarn ends for 3 single crochet. Then go ahead and cut your loose yarn ends, get them out of the way. Then you have 1 more stitch, next stitch over for 4 single crochet. Then you can go ahead and go into the very end of the triangle for a slip stitch, yarn over and bring the yarn through both loops on the hook. Then go ahead and finish off, just yarn over and pull enough yarn to sew the blue portion of the eye. Now you're going to turn your work over and we're going to join into that last stitch where we just finished off. You're going to take and join the white yarn. So I'm using my Effervesce yarn. I'm just going to hook it and bring it through, and then I'm going to go ahead and tie a knot. Now you're going to take the blue loose yarn end and move that out of the way, and we're only going to bury the white loose yarn end. So you're going to take your crochet hook, go into the next stitch over, go behind the white loose yarn end only and bring up a loop for 1 single crochet, next stitch for 2 single crochet, next stitch for 3 single crochet. Then go ahead and cut your loose yarn end, the white one only. Then you can make 1 single crochet into the next stitch over. Then you can make a slip stitch into the end of the black portion of the triangle. Just yarn over and pull the yarn through both loops on the hook. Then go ahead and finish off. Just yarn over and pull enough of the white yarn to sew the white portion of the eye onto the bear. Now we're just going to make the white dot that goes on the eye. So for my other eye, I have the white dot on the right side, so that means on the opposite eye I want it to be on the left side. So make sure you put your white dot on the right side of the eye. Go ahead and come through with your tapestry needle and make sure you're about the same. Try to make them symmetrical or equal so they match. Just come through with your tapestry needle and the white yarn, and of course you're leaving enough of a loose yarn end on the back for tying a knot. Then you just go down about a couple of millimeters down, and I'm going parallel to the side of the triangle, so diagonal. Just like that. Then you can tie a knot on the back with the loose yarn ends. Then you just take and sew the eyes in place. This is how I sewed my eyes on. For the side panel, you're going to start with a chain of 9, and you're going to make it the exact same way. You just go into the second chain from the hook and make your single crochet for your first one, next stitch over for the second, next stitch over for the third, single crochet, next stitch over for the fourth, fifth, sixth, 7th, 8th. So now you're going to chain 1, turn your work, and make sure that you count so that you have a straight side panel. So you're going to go into the next stitch over for your 2nd, 3rd, 4th single crochet, 5th, 6th, 7th, and the last and 8th. So for each row that you make, you're always going to have 8 stitches, and you're just going to keep repeating. Chain 1, turn your work, and then single crochet into every stitch across for a total of 8 stitches. You should have 4 of the rectangles completed, 2 for the head and then 2 for the body. Then you're going to make the side panels for the head. The side panel for the head, you start with a chain of 9, and you're going to complete 44 rows. You can double check it by making sure that it goes along the one side across the top and then down the other side. And that's for the head, so you'll have the back panel and then the front panel of the head. Then for the body, you're going to have the panel made the exact same way as the side panel for the head, except you're going to have 60 rows. And this panel will go all the way around for the body. So it's going to go all the way around. We're going to be sewing it all the way around. Then you have the back of the body and the front of the body. Now you're going to take the face of the bear and then just lay it down with the face portion facing up. Then take the side panel for the head. This is the one with 44 rows of 1 single crochet in every stitch. Then you're going to take the 2 loose yarn ends and go ahead and tie a knot to secure it on the one side. Then you're going to take your tapestry needle and just get some of the pipsqueak yarn and put it onto your tapestry needle, or whatever yarn you're using as the main color for your bear. And I have the long end that I left for sewing on one side of the side strip for the head. I'm going to use that to sew the back portion on. So I'm going to take the opposite side and then just lay it down on top of the head with the face up, and you're just going to take your tapestry needle and go into that bottom corner to line up the opposite side of the side strip for the head. Then you can just take and tie a knot. That way it will secure the opposite side, so you'll know you'll have enough to go all the way around the head of the bear. So now I have both sides secured on the side panel. Now you can take your tapestry needle and just leave the yarn for now. We're going to come back to it to sew the head to the side panel. Now you want to make sure that you get the 2 top corners of the bear secure. So you just go, and then on one of the corners you have a loose yarn end, so you can use that. Just put that right onto your tapestry needle. Yep. Sometimes this yarn is a little bit trickier to get onto the tapestry needle. There, got it onto the tapestry needle. Then just fold down the side panel and go through the side panel. Make sure you grab the end of the side panel. You don't want to go towards the middle. And just secure it on that corner. And then you can just let the loose yarn end hang. And that way you've secured one corner, and now we need to secure the other corner. With the other corner, I'm just going to use a safety pin, but you can use a little bit of yarn in your tapestry needle if you want to do it that way instead, if you don't have any safety pins. And then you just line up again. Make sure that the head's lined up. Fold down that corner, and then just take and use a safety pin to hold it at that corner. That way the side panel is secure and won't be moving around as you sew it in place. Now you're ready to take the long end that you left for sewing on that side that we just tied, and then you're just going to take the yarn and just go in and out, sewing it in place. You're going to sew it all along the edge, across the top and down the other side. And you're just going in and out with your tapestry needle right along the edge of the side panel, sewing it in place to the front of the bear. Now you can see how I've sewn the panel all the way around. Go ahead and get your back panel for the head, and you're going to place it right on top with the face up, facing up, and then put the back panel on, and go ahead and secure the corners just like you did for the front panel. So I'm just going to secure each of the corners. Right now I'm securing the opposite corner with the loose yarn end, but you can take and if you don't have a loose yarn end on that side, you can get some of the yarn and secure it that way. But go ahead, secure each of the corners, and then come back. Now you can go ahead and turn your work inside out. Now I'm going to show you how to make the ear. Go ahead and take your pipsqueak yarn and fold it over on itself to form a loop. Take your crochet hook and go right through the loop. Hold the base of the loop with your middle finger and your thumb, and then you're going to make a chain of 11. But first we're going to make our slip knot. So just yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through the loop for your slip knot. Then you're going to make a chain of 11. Then you're going to make a single crochet into the second chain from the hook. So go into the second chain from the hook, bring up a loop, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through both for a single crochet. And you're going to make 1 single crochet in every stitch back across, and you should have a total of 10 stitches when you reach the end. When you reach the end, this is how your work should look so far. You're going to make a chain of 1. Then turn your work. That first chain 1 counts as your first stitch. So you're going to go into the next stitch over for your second single crochet. And you're going to make 1 single crochet in every stitch across. And again, you should have a total of 10 stitches for that row. And you need 2 more rows. So you're going to have a total, including your first chain, a total of 4 rows. And each row should have 10 stitches. This is how your work should look so far. And including the first chain, I have a total of 4 rows. and 10 stitches on my last row. Now, instead of making a chain of 1, you're just going to turn your work. So just turn your work, and you're going to go into the next stitch over, bring up a loop, make your single crochet, and then you're going to make a single crochet in every stitch back across. But because you didn't make a chain of 1, you're only going to have 9 stitches for this row. I just finished my 9th single crochet. Now again, you're just going to turn your work. You're going to work a single crochet into the next stitch over, and for this row you're only going to have 8 single crochet, or 8 stitches. So 1 single crochet in every stitch back across for a total of 8 stitches. So I just finished my 8th stitch, and you can see that you have a gradual slope going towards the top of the ear, which is what you want. Now again, you're not going to chain 1, you're just going to turn your work, and you're going to make a single crochet into the next stitch. And I'm just going to work this last row with you. We're only going to have 6 single crochets, so that's 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then what you're going to do into the 7th stitch is just make a slip stitch. So you go into the 7th stitch, yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and bring the yarn through both loops on the hook for a slip stitch. Then you're going to finish off, just yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through that loop just enough to bury the loose yarn end. You're going to need 4 of these, 2 for each of the ears. Now to make your ear, take 2 of the pieces that you just made and put them right on top of each other. Then you're going to take your crochet hook and just go right through the corner of one and the corner of the other. We're going to join the 2 pieces together by crocheting the ears together with single crochet. So go ahead and take your pipsqueak yarn and bring through a loop, bring up a loop. Go ahead and chain 1 and tie a knot. So just grab one of the loose yarn ends and just tie a knot to secure it. Then just take your crochet hook and you're going to go into the next stitch over and go through both the front and the back part of the ear. Just bring up a loop and make your single crochet. And you're going to make 1 single crochet in every stitch around back to the opposite side. So only 1 single crochet in every stitch around, and you're just crocheting the front and the back part of the ear together. So as soon as you reach the opposite side, come back and I'll show you what to do next. Now I just finished crocheting all along the edge, and I have the 2 pieces sewn together. Now I'm going to go ahead and finish off. Just yarn over and pull enough yarn through to sew the ear onto the bear. And now you should have an opening on the inside, and then the 2 pieces are sewn together. There's a natural curl towards the front. That's going to face the front of the bear, and then the back you can see just a slight curve because we only made 1 single crochet, and that kind of brings the front part of the ear forward and makes a little bit of a curve, which is what we want. Now we're going to sew the ear on the bear, so go ahead and take your tapestry needle, put it onto the long end that you left for sewing, or just get more yarn the same kind of similar yarn that you used for your ear, and we're going to line it up onto the bear. What I like to do is center the ear along the side panel, so it's going to be right in the center, and then also the tip of the ear is going to line up with the eye. So you want to line it up with the center of the eye and then down the center of the head. And then once you have where you want to place your ear, you just take the tapestry needle down and then just hold the ear in place as you sew the ear onto the bear. And just make the natural curve of the ear, sew it in place all along the base and the back of the ear. You can see how I'm going in and out with my tapestry needle and just sewing the ear in place. You want to put a little bit of the craft stuffing into the bear and leave a little pocket in the center, a little pocket within the craft stuffing or the pillow stuffing. Take one of your celebrated bags, satin bags, open up one of your lavender packets. I filled up my packet about halfway with the lavender scented granules, and then I just pulled the satchel closed, and I'm going to tie a tight knot. There will be little fine granules if you use this packet, so you'll want to shake it to let loose the smaller pieces so that the larger granules stay within the packet, but the fine grains will go into the trash. Another thing you can do is just take, after you've shaken your pouch, and you can see there's a little bit that goes into the center of the fabric as well, so you have a little bit of the residual. Just take and fold it into a pillow case, a little bit of leftover pillowcase or fabric, and then just fold it down and then just tie it in place with your yarn, or you can sew it closed with your sewing machine, or however else you want to secure it. But for mine, I'm just going to tie some string around it to secure it within the fabric. That way you still have a little bit of the lavender scent that will come through, and you won't have a paper feel. It will still be soft. Then you can take and insert the packet into the bear, and then just finish putting the craft stuffing in place, and then you're going to stuff the head with craft stuffing as we close. So for the next round, next decrease round, you're going to take your yarn marker, and then this time you're going to make one single crochet into 6 stitches. So one single crochet into 6 stitches, and then we're going to make our decrease stitch. So this is my 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and then I'm going to make my decrease stitch. And then I'm going to repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker, and then I'm going to be stuffing it as I close. For the next decrease round, you're going to make one single crochet into 5 stitches and then make your decrease stitch, repeating that pattern all the way around back to your yarn marker. And after we complete this round, we're going to make a round of just decrease stitches, and I'll work that with you. So go ahead, complete your round of just one single crochet into 5 stitches and then a decrease stitch, repeating that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. Now you can go ahead and get rid of your yarn marker. Make sure that you have plenty of craft stuffing for the head and form the head the way you want it. Then you're going to make decrease stitches all the way around. So you're just going to make decrease stitches all the way around, and keep making decreased stitches until you're almost closed, and then come back, and then I will show you how to slip stitch it closed. Now you can see that I'm almost closed, so I'm going to take and skip the next stitch, go into the next stitch over. I'm going to yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through both loops for a slip stitch. And then you're just going to slip stitch all the way around until the bear's head is completely closed. Then you can go ahead and finish off, just yarn over and just pull enough yarn through to bury into the head. Then you can take your tapestry needle, put it onto that loose yarn end, go right in where you tied that knot or finished off, and then just pull the loose yarn end through the head of the bear and cut. And it buries it nicely. Now we're going to work on the body.